Hey guys, and welcome to our review of Edge of Darkness. We're going to kick it off with the dark side here and just dive right into it because there's a lot to cover. So come with us on a journey into the Star Wars universe, if you would. We're going to kick it off with the Tatooine Crash, a new objective set, obviously. Awesome objective set, I'll just say right off the bat. It has a reaction after you refresh, capture the top card of an opponent's deck at this objective if able, and it's 6 health with 1 resource here. So first of all, I'll say immediately, as a person who has dabbled in the Smuggler's decks, even pre-Edge of Darkness, there's some really cool cards that are all about if a card is captured, this card is great. If a card isn't captured, awful. And so this is an objective set that you flip this and you immediately can meet those conditions and pretty much keep it safe, usually if you want to. It's just like, this is the consistency, I feel like, that the capture decks were needing for a very long time. So what do you think?
It's definitely a really powerful ability. All the benefits from having a card captured, and you can just automatically do it. Turn 1 if this is out.
Sure.
6 health is also actually a really big deal. A 6/1 is not common, and so something you want to run that has 6 is great. And one thing I didn't realize at first that I've been doing lately, it's a reaction. It's not a forced reaction. So you don't have to do this. The first couple of games, I'd load it up with 6, 7 cards. Opponent finally destroys it. They get 7 cards on their hand on my turn. It's like, you're not winning Edge battle. Like, that's not happening. So that being said, I think it's a really strong objective based on what cards are in it.
It's really kind of capture insurance. Yeah. And a nice 6 health. So yeah, not bad. So let's see what's inside of it. We have some Jabba Scavengers, which we'll start with. It's a 0-cost character. It's got 1 Force icon, so not winning any awards there. It's got an Edge-enabled Tactics icon, which is quite interesting for a 0-cost character. And a forced reaction. After you lose an Edge battle, return this unit from play to your hand. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, so the interesting thing about Star Wars is that the cost of cards isn't as big of a deal as it is in other games, to me. Because, like, these 0 costs, oftentimes, like, you're going to draw up every time, and you're going to build resources throughout the game, so you can play higher and higher cost stuff. And all of a sudden, your hand's full of, like, 0 and 1 cost things. It's not good. Like, that's not good for you. So, for a 0 cost character, that Edge-enabled tactics is a big deal. And I feel like the Smugglers are going to have good ways to win Edge battles. I'm hoping in the rest of these cards, which I may have already seen. So this is just a guy that's in the pack to me. He's just a guy that's in the pack.
So when I first went through the deluxe, I stumbled upon this guy and this whole objective set. And it was immediately just like, I love this guy. I think he's amazing. Like, one of the best cards in the pack, actually. And I'll tell you why.
Whoa.
I'll tell you why. It's not a matter of the fact that, oh, he's just super impressive, but what you can do with this card. Normally, I'll have 1 or 2 of these guys out, and it's like, oh, I'm going to attack that bottom objective that has no damage on it with these 2 guys. And you've got a choice. You can either block, or you can just let me drop 2 tactics on you. What's awesome about it is usually, especially early to mid-game, your opponent's in a position where, like, they don't have too many things to block with. So you're going to block, and then what's going to happen is 1 of 2 things. Either I really am going to win the Edge battle, or I'll just be like, pass. And they're like, I'm just going to... And then they're like, all right, I'll pass. Tie goes to the defender. These guys pop back to your hand, which now means you can use them in other Edge battles, and their characters still focus out. Yeah. So they're a nightmare. Like, one of these guys is just a nightmare to deal with.
Little Jawa annoyances.
Yeah, and these guys are... Let's say you let, like... I don't even have anything to focus down. I just leave them. They're really great for committing to the Force because they get you balanced. Your opponent attacks. You block with them. If you lose the Edge battle, they just bounce to your hand.
Yeah, you get the Force card back.
Wonderful. Wonderful little control
Cool
cards.
Little tricks, yeah. At first glance, that stuff isn't quite as noticeable, but definitely feel that.
I really like it because it's reminiscent to me of what you see in Game of Thrones with the naval superiority icon. It's sort of like, you can more or less force your opponent to overcommit themselves, and then you reserve the option of just saying, no, maybe I won't fight this fight that you thought I was ready to, and all this kind of stuff. It can really hog time.
All right, so moving on to the Sandcrawler. Beautiful art on this card. 3 costs, 2 force icons. It is a vehicle with 2 unit damage on it. and it's black unit damage. So this is a good thing to bring into a battle. It has shielding, so again, very cool. And a forced interrupt when this unit leaves play. Place 1 focus on each character and each droid unit. Could be a double-edged sword.
Oftentimes is.
But I mean, it does play interestingly with some of the mechanics that. Now, we haven't gotten to the captured card, which is a big deal, and some of the things, and I have to relook at it to see, because I've only ever used it on my opponent. I've never had to see if I can maybe use it on myself. But you could do some interesting stuff with this card, too. This is a really weird kind of techie objective set, where you have options for certain types of deck builders that are going to make this stuff really, really come out and play.
What I've seen I've definitely had it backfire on me. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
But what I've seen with this is your opponent will have Han and Lando and, Luke or whatever, a lot of different things. And the problem he creates is if I block with him, I put the shield on the objective. And I know that, it makes battle weird.
Yeah.
Because if you put too many guys in the same battle, you're going to kill him.
Right.
If you kill him, all of a sudden, the Luke that you just put a focus on and the Han you just put a focus on now have another focus.
That's a big deal.
And then the next turn comes and I drop a Jawa and I put a third focus, and all of a sudden, you're just locked down.
Board's locked down, yeah.
But I've also seen you play it on your turn, your opponent immediately is Rebel Assault plus this, and then it's it's dead. And then your board's locked down and you're kind of in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, good card, though. Very cool stuff. Following that is a 2-cost event called Utini, which, of course, is what Jabba would say. And 2 force icons. Action, capture a target enemy enhancement. Yep, that's what you want.
It's not limited to your turn.
That is a big deal.
Only cost 2. I mean, this is Echo Caverns. This is Echo Base.
We needed this card.
This is Trust Your Feelings. This is wonderful.
It's even just resource. You can play resource denial, too. I mean, if they have...
Absolutely.
There was, sometimes people will drop, a 2 resource, 1 resource on their opening turn objective. I saw this the other day, and then, played out a resource card, and then tapped everything, played everything. And then you come back next turn, and you just capture that little thing. They have 1 resource for the next turn.
Yeah.
It's so you can play a denial game there, too. So
absolutely.
It's just... Enhancement control is a big deal. We kind of needed it in the game, and we're seeing a lot more of it. So this is a good one. This objective set is killing it right now.
Correct. There's only one thing that can make this better.
And it's ending with a twist of fate.
Yep.
And it's twist of fate.
This objective set is so much fun. This is just this is the best one that I've seen in a while.
Well,
Huge bag of tricks.
After looking through all the cards the first time, I just couldn't see a deck that uses Scum not at least using one of these. You get Twist of Fate, you get 2 0-cost characters, and you get enhancement control. Forget the Sandcrawler. It's at least 2 force icons. But why not run 1? I mean, you get 2. Being able to play 2 or 3 characters on turn 1 is a big deal. If you get one of the Jawas, it's just a really cheap way to get stuff out. And I mean, at least 1. It's so good. It's so good, man.
Yeah. I always call Scum and Villainy smugglers, by the way. I think of spies as light side and smugglers as dark side. So I think I've been saying that, so sorry, guys. That's just where my brain is.
Scum and Green. Overall, that objective set.
That objective set is great.
That's a winner.
I won't rate it because I don't want to spoil anything for the rest of the
I'll rate
Edge
it
of Darkness.
5 out of 5.
But it's high on the list right now.
It's great. Yeah.
It's just as far as pure usefulness across the board, it's really high for me. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, which is what most people are talking about. I was talking about that objective set, and this is what people, the day it came out and they were opening the store, really, really talking about. So Hive of Scum and Villainy, it's a standard 5/1. Each unit loses 1 unit damage combat icon while it is attacking this objective.
Okay.
That's actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
It caught me off guard. I attacked this with Luke one time, and I was like, I'm going to target strike 2 for there. And he's like, no, you only have 1. And I was just like, oh, no.
What?
Wrong objective.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it definitely is a lot more useful than I gave it credit for.
It also feels to me like that kind of objective that why are you ever attacking it? It doesn't bring anything to the table outside of a 5/1. So you could probably rather attack the other 2 that may be giving them actual benefits instead of just, hey, it's a 5/1 and if you attack it, it's harder.
Well, I mean, the tough part of that is, let's say you do attack not this, and then I block with a Jabba and tactics you down. And then you attack something else, and I also tactics you down. And I can spend all of my effort, or I capture one of your units or whatever. in such a way where you really are only left with the option of attacking this particular one. And if you have things to target strike, Han, Luke, or you use that new Jedi enhancement to give something target strike, you lose an icon, which is really kind of funny.
All right. I don't believe
we'll get on to the rest of stuff. It's not. I'm not like mind blown by it, but it's more useful than I gave it credit for.
Yeah.
So we have Greedo. He's a 2-cost unique character, 2 Force icons, completely edge enabled, 2 unit damage, 1 blast damage. Character bounty hunter, 3 health. He has a force reaction. After you lose an edge battle, this unit is dealt 1 damage if it is participating in the engagement.
Nice.
That's still solid. That is so solid.
He is a solid character for 2.
Yeah, and he's got the 3 health is really what sells it. If he had 2, it'd be different, but 3.
Yeah, I've been a really big fan of him. So, we also in the set get 2 paid informants, which are just a 2-cost, 1 force icon character, not edge enabled, basically a black unit damage, and then an edge enabled blast damage. Character bounty hunter, 2 health.
I will say that more and more black unit damage is a pretty critical piece of this puzzle, especially as the dark side, because I've had entire boards where, like, you know, I'm building a sweet Imperial Navy deck or something, and like I have a lot of objective damage on the board, but then it comes to like blocking, and it's like I have maybe 1 that I can edge enable do a damage to you, and it's like then they're just attacking all over you, and of course the light side, as their win condition, if they can just punch through your guys, then it doesn't matter. So that's a pretty good little icon to have in this game.
I think he's just a really solid 2-cost character. 2 health is a really big deal.
He's like a little mini Greedo.
If you play him and they're not ready to block, he's also going to be damaging some objectives if you really want to attack. So that's a solid card. But then we get to the money off the back, which is the bounty.
Yep.
0 cost, 1 force icon, enhancement, condition, bounty, enhance an enemy unit. If you lose an edge battle by 3 or more force icons, discard this enhancement from play. Reaction: after you refresh, capture enhanced unit. So you drop it on your opponent's character.
Pretty good.
With about 12 attachments. You know, Luke, Super Luke.
Yoink.
They have to win an edge battle by 3, or remove this enhancement, or be captured.
Now, here's a question that I don't know the answer to. Are you having an edge battle if you attack, they don't defend, and you put things in the edge stack?
Absolutely.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still, I mean, pressure's on once you drop the bounty on somebody. It's not a guaranteed thing.
What I've seen out of this more than actually capturing something is forcing your opponent to put it all into 1 edge battle. And that it really becomes an issue because on your next turn, let's say you play 2 cards. Now you've got 4. Then you attack, and it's like you play a card, and then I play a card. And then you play a card and I say pass. It's like, if I'm twist of fating there, you're in trouble. So it just forces them down this weird, like, well, I don't want to play any cards because I need them so I don't lose Luke and his 12 attachments. I've also seen, because it's a reaction, it's not a force reaction, I've seen people miss this after the fact. And they'll be deploying, they'll be like, oh, I was supposed to capture Luke. And it was like, whoops. Sorry. You were supposed to capture Luke, but he got away. The other thing that most people realized right off the bat is Jabba has the ability to focus and put an enhancement or a character with 2 costs or lower into play on your opponent's turn. So they get to the end of the turn, you focus Jabba, you put a bounty on their character, they don't have any chance to save it. Jabba collects his bounty.
Makes perfect sense.
It does. It makes a whole lot of sense.
That's crazy.
So that's a really solid enhancement for the Scum and Villainy. Finally, probably one of the most talked about cards in the entire box.
What a set, man.
Capture. 3 costs, 2 force icons. Play only during your turn. Action. Capture a target enemy unit.
This is an insane objective set.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason people are talking about this. Like, the first one that we looked at is awesome and interesting in its own way, and it has tricks and it's very useful. This is just, how do you not run
It's brutal,
this?
is what it is.
How do you not run this?
Yeah.
You've got 2 direct character removal cards, like about as direct as possible.
3 solid characters.
And then 3 solid characters. The objective could be like a 2 health. Maybe it should have been. I don't know. This is just so good. Man.
It's solid. Now, I mean, when we get to the smugglers and spies, half of things, I'll bring this card back up. I do think it's solid. Some people around here were complaining that it's too cheap. But I equate it to like a Force Lightning, where if they're focused, you can kill them. And they're like, well, they don't have to be anything for you to capture them. And it's like...
You can get them back.
It's like, it's true. You can get them back. But you can also... How easy is it to put tactics on something? It's like, I'm going to attack with a Jawa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put attacks on Luke. All right,
It's
you're Force
it's
Lightning.
more or less somewhat. I mean, this is a power card for smugglers. They needed it. I mean, it's good.
So I think it ultimately down the road, and when we get to the Smuggler's Spy discussion, this card is perfectly costed, and I've had some really funny stories with it. I don't want to go into just yet, but it's obviously a really good card. Like,
Before we leave that set, I would like to point out the potential flavor reasons why all of Greedo's icons are Force enabled, or Edge enabled, excuse me, because it's like, did he shoot first or did he not? I don't know anymore.
The cards would say Han shoots first.
Yeah, so
based on his reaction to auto damage, but yeah, it's very flavorful. It's pretty crazy. It's like
it's really nice. Yeah. Okay, so our next one is Jabba's Reach. It is a 5/1. And it is Tatooine, and it says your reserve value is increased by 1 for each captured card here. Very nice.
That's the best objective I may have ever seen.
It's bananas. It's bananas
to me, that card is right up there with Council of the Sith. Mm-hmm. You draw it, start your opponent's turn, just for importance with the edge battle. Like, it's right in there with... Oh my god, that ability is amazing.
But it can chain up so dramatically.
Yeah,
like if you have 9 or 10 cards in your hand,
I've seen it.
I don't know how you can win a game against somebody with 9 or 10.
I win all of the edge battles.
Like
it's like they play what they want and then they can win the edge battle.
They got to kill that objective. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's really, I mean, again, it's another case of a card forcing an opponent into a course of action where it's like you've got that out, and you've got some other objective that you like having around. It's like, you've got to attack that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, of course, Jabba coming up next. He is 5, 3 Force Bubbles. He is with 2 Tactics Icons, 3 hit points, character Hut. This unit cannot be targeted by enemy events. That's crazy, right off the bat. And then action, focus this
unit. Get out of here.
Yeah, action, focus this unit to put a unit or enhancement of printed cost 2 or lower into play from your hand. That is fantastic.
Yep.
There are so many things that work with this. It blows my mind.
I mean, just as far, you put them down, you commit them to the Force. On their turn, it's like, okay, they can block, put 2 tactics down. And then it's like, but if you don't use them, I'm just going to focus on put a dude in. And he's great.
Yes.
He's a power card, huge. I mean, he's in the ranks of Luke, Han, that whole crew.
Art's fantastic.
Right, he's definitely a power character.
Yeah. For 5 cost, you want him to be that anywho. But moving on, next up is Jabba's Pleasure Barge. 3 cost, 1 Force Bubble, nice. 2 objective damage, blasty damage. 1 is black, 1 is white, with 2 hit points. It's a vehicle and is elite. And it says, reaction, after your conflict phase begins, move 1 focus token from a character unit you control to this unit.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, especially with Jabba that we just saw.
Yeah, this is a big deal because it basically makes any unit you want elite.
Yep.
Where, they triple focus an elite character, whatever it is, whatever character you want. And it's like, oh, I only take 1 off.
That's awesome.
It's like having an extra Mahdi.
That is awesome.
And then even if it didn't have that ability, a 3 cost 2 health card that has 2 blast damage is not bad. Like it's elite.
It needed 2 health like that. Mm-hmm. If it were 3, it would be too much.
Yeah. I think it's well costed, and the fact that it only has that 1 Force Bubble makes it good for use on the board, but it's not going to be good everywhere. So keeps it a little bit under control.
And it's unique utility here. You draw this without anybody you want to pull focus off of. He's just an elite unit with 2 blast damage.
Yep.
You draw it with someone, and it's like, oh, you put 3 focus on the Emperor? No.
Not a problem.
No thanks. So, it's a really good card.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
This objective set is shaping up to be awesome.
Next up, the Gomorian Guard, a 1 cost, 1 Force Bubble, 1 unit damage, 2 hit point character mercenary, and that's it.
Chud.
Yep.
For 1.
But that is a black unit damage, so good for defending and attacking.
I mean, really, the rest of the cards in this pack could be blank.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's so useful, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then what do we get? Oh, a resource card.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Prize possession, a 1 cost, 1 resource Tatooine item, enhance your play area, and is limited.
Wow.
Standard.
That's all you need,
resource.
Yeah.
And then, probably my favorite.
That art is wonderful.
I've seen this card do so many crazy things so many times. I love it just already. Anyway, 1 cost, 2 Force Bubbles, Reversal of Fate, interrupt when both players are done placing edge cards. caveat here, they both have to play edge cards is the ruling.
That is how it's been ruled.
Because you can't swap stuff. Anyway, and before edge stacks are revealed, switch edge stacks with your opponent for the resolution of this edge battle.
That's mean.
It is really mean, especially with the objective set we were talking about earlier, where it's like, oh my god, you've played the bounty card, and they're really committing everything to try to get that out of there. And it's like, oh, reversal of fate. Let's go ahead and swap these around.
Like, that sucks for you.
Not only do I win, but you just wasted your entire hand.
It's funny, though, because, like, I find myself when I have this card in this situation where, are they Twisted Fating me?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I've played this card into a Twisted Fate, and it's like, oh, that's great. But I've also actually played it into a Heat of Battle.
Nice.
Because my dude didn't die, and then I killed one of theirs. It's
a total reversal.
Big swing.
Yeah. And the art is fantastic. Maybe the best art in the entire box.
The fact that I can put like a resource down that has 0 force bubbles, and then they put a card or 2 in, and then I can just pay 1 to know that, all right, if they're twisting, we're fine.
Yep.
If they're not twisting, I just won the edge battle. Yeah, it's pretty great.
So, thoughts on that set?
Another great one.
Really good.
Another great one.
Fantastic.
It's Jabba. It's the Barge.
It's just what you want.
It's just useless.
It really is.
We've not seen one yet that's kind of just like slacking.
They're all gems.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the Trandoshan Terror. This is Trandosha objective, and it's 2 resources, 5 health. So, always useful, always good to have. And let's see if we can get some cards out of it that are quite useful.
I've got a feeling we will.
Yes. First of all, Bosk. One of my absolute favorites, just the old lizardy bounty hunter. And he's got he's a 4 cost, he's got 2 force icons, he's got 2 black unit damage and 2 white blast damage, which is a nice spread on a character.
Not bad.
Just nice. Because it's the kind of guy, like, you don't really want to block. He's coming in, but then if you don't block, he gets a free edge battle and 2 objective damage. So, it's just good. After you play this unit from your hand, focus it with 2 focus tokens to capture a target exhausted enemy character unit. And if that was a Wookiee, draw 2 cards.
So,
Nice.
I love this guy.
when I first saw this, I thought to myself, I'm going to pay 4 for a unit that I'm going to exhaust twice, which means I'm not going to get to use him next turn because he's not elite, to capture an exhausted enemy unit. And I'm thinking, man, I'd rather just have Force Lightning. Wrong. You know what's awesome about this card?
A lot of things.
Besides everything, it's not an event.
Right.
Like you can't cancel this.
Exactly.
And that is, cancel is the name of the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, it's just like, you better be able to cancel my character's ability, which there are cards that do it.
Yeah.
But it's like,
It's harder.
yeah, it's like, I'm going to drop this and I'm going to capture it. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, I love this card because it's so multifaceted in its use. It's like, if you want to, you can play this guy out when you need 2 objective damage to finish a game, or to kill an objective set, or to have 2 black. You don't have to use this reaction. So just put him down. If you just put him down as a 4-cost, 3 health character with these icons, he's great.
Yeah.
But then you have the option of getting a trouble character out of the game, and that's great.
Pick a role. He's good at it.
So yeah, very cool. I also have 2 Trandoshan Hunters. These are 2-cost characters, also awesome art. So, do you know Zach, you're kind of the Star Wars expert. Do you know the idea behind like the Trandoshans versus the Wookiees? Because like in this art, they're fighting Wookiees. If boss captures a Wookiee, you get stuff. Is it like a war going on, or?
I mean, it's...
They just hate Wookiees?
I'm trying to say this appropriately. They just don't like each other.
They don't get along.
It's a racist type of...
Sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. But
The no hairs versus the hairs, basically?
pretty much. They're mad at all the hair.
Okay. So it's a 2-cost, 2 health. It's got the 1 force icon. It's got 2 unit damage, 1 black, 1 white. Dig it. It is a character, and when this unit strikes during an engagement, it may instead damage a target Wookiee unit not participating in the engagement.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Wookiee targeted strike.
just 2/2 with these 2 icons is good. This is a solid card. All right, so far liking it. We get another bounty.
Nice.
Oh, man. And a heat of battle.
Classy.
So many hard decisions.
Let's run all of them. Let's have a 20 objective set deck.
This is really cool. Like,
It's possible.
don't you love it where you have these objective sets and they each have like one big card that you're after. Like they have Bosk or they have Jabba. And it's just like, yeah, I'm running like a Bosk. Like if I have 2 of these, it's kind of a Bosk deck in a sense. It's like, oh man, he's running that Bosk deck.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty cool.
obviously when this first came out, people built straight Scum and Villainy decks, straight Smuggler Spy decks, and it's like 2 of these plus 2 of the Jabbas plus 2 of the Greedo one, and it's like you've got so many captureds and so many bounties and so many ways of just taking their stuff, and like you're on 2 of the Jabba one, and it's like, oh, I can capture enhancements.
Disrupt.
You get that objective that lets you draw extra cards for the captured, and it's like,
it's a bad day.
and like as a light side player, you can't, like, I gotta stop you from capturing, and I gotta go after the one with the captured, and it's like, it's awful.
It's almost like it's a completely new like dynamic within the game, because now rescuing cards becomes a lot more important as well, and objective damage even more important. Now you get your captured cards back and turn off some of their benefits. Like, it's just a different. When you look at what your opponent's playing, this is the cool thing about objective sets and affiliations. Like, you might start with smugglers and have 4 objective sets in the deck of smugglers, but your opponent's like, I'm going to get captured and I'm going to get, but you might not be doing any of that. Yeah. So it's hard to kind of nail down exactly what your opponent's doing. But if you knew, you would have to play to it. You can't just let them run wild.
So that's I think it's a solid objective. I've seen Bosk used at the right time. It's not cool. Brutal. It's just not cool.
Yeah. And of course Jabba's Pleasure Barge can remove the focus from him. So.
There are ways. He eventually comes back, right? And it's
and
like
then
all of a
you've
sudden
gotten
it's like
such a huge boon for 4 costs.
Oh, they captured a dude, raised their hand size by 1, and then now he's actually a problem.
Has a really good snowball potential.
Yeah.
Love it.
You can't ignore him. You got to get. It's bad. And 3 health is wonderful. Next up, we have the Shadow of Nar Shaddaa. It's a 5/1. I say it like it's in the video game.
Nar Shaddaa.
It's a 5/1 action. Focus this objective with 2 focus tokens to place 1 focus token on a target attacking unit.
I love it.
This is the kind of card that just messes with your brain.
I love it,
because like, I'm gonna attack with Luke, and then you're like, you can put 2 on this. You're not gonna get a resource for 2 turns, but late game, that could be trouble for the light side player. It's like, I really need this objective damage, and you're not gonna get it.
I love it.
You're not gonna get it. So we'll see what's in it.
That to me is a really good one to hold back and play your events with. Like your in battle events, or your not during the deployment phase events, because it's like then you have the options truly, where it's like, I could use this to play my captured with some other resources, or I could, depending on what you do, I might tap your guy down. So.
Yeah, totally. Next up, we have the Assassin Droid. 4 cost, 2 Force Icons, 2 black unit damage. He's a droid. He's an assassin. He's an assassin droid. Reaction: after this unit destroys an enemy unit, remove 1 focus token from this unit. 2 health.
So
and he hates meatbags.
Yes.
He's not blowing me away.
It's surprising.
I want him to have at least 1 more unit damage for this effect.
I think you would be, like, if you go look through the light side cards, at the number of characters that have 2 health or less, just when you go look, it's actually quite a bit. And I've seen this guy, they commit him to the Force, and it's like, I dare you to attack. It's like, if you attack and I strike, I'm going to blow your dude up and then unfocus. And it's like, at best, then you kill my assassin droid, which I don't really care about.
Right.
This isn't the kind of guy, like, you play down early because he's 4, but like if you've got 8 resources and you drop him,
I could see that. He, to me, compared to everything else that we've seen cost-wise, feels like 4 costs. You're not getting quite the package that you would get for a Bosk or even a Jabba at +1.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that, but he definitely...
I want him to be IG-88 so badly.
He does things. He could have been.
He's HK-47.
He could have been. We also get 2 Aqualish Thugs, 3 cost, 1 Force Icon, unit, 1 unit damage, 1 blast damage, character 1 health, which is unfortunate for a 3 cost, but he has a reaction. After this unit enters play, each opponent must deal 2 damage divided among any number of objectives he controls.
Interesting.
That's never going to be a bad card.
It's interesting.
He's, again, not really lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, the cost to me, again, is...
I wish he had 2 Force Icons.
Yeah, either a small boost in effectiveness or a small decrease in cost.
It's a good enough card. Like it may as well be a 3 cost event, but you still get the damage. He's right. He's right where he needs to be. Maybe 2 health. I would.
Yeah,
but
something.
All right,
he's not the guy that I'm gonna.
Next up, we have a 0 cost event. 1 Force Icon, Spice Visions. Interrupt.
I love the art on this card.
When a focus token will be placed on a character or creature unit you control, damage that unit instead.
Nice.
Again, not lighting the world on fire here. This objective set isn't doing much. Now that's a useful ability, but it's conditional and it's harmful. Like if it said focus the opponent's unit instead or something, like, oh, okay, that's okay, but come on.
Come on. Hey, give us something more here.
There are interesting plays with that card, though. Like,
Truly.
I've seen it out with Emperor's Royal Guard, and they'll take the damage on the guard, or like on their turn they'll attack with a guard and something that has shielding. They'll shield the guard. Then your turn comes, they block, they take that damage instead of the focus, they put the damage on the guard takes the shield. It's great. I mean, there's interactions there and there's things that happen.
But is it worth it, you know? It's like, why is that
I'm
worth
not making that case. I'm just saying what I've seen.
We'll be right back.
To round out the objective set, we have a fake card called Protection. 2 Force icons, place 1 shield on a target unit or objective.
All right, so that objective set is the weakest so far for me.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I mean, I guess the interesting thing is I'm picturing, let's say you start Smugglers and Spies, you're on that objective, you go into, you can't do that. You can't because you need...
Now, it's the Oculus Thugs, they're not droids, are they?
No.
See, I was looking for maybe later this would be like a droid synergy objective set, but the thing is, like, to me, there's not a reason ever to have that objective set in your deck. It's not doing anything that you can't get from other sources and more and better cards from that same objective set. So
now, in light of the actual objective itself, which is a pretty powerful ability in my brain, could it be worth it?
It's just hard, even if you, because to guarantee to really have a decent shot at seeing that objective set during the game, you really need to run 2 of them. And if you're
not what you want.
if you're running 2 of them, you're really not getting good cards, you know. So I would say that's a pass, hard pass.
He's throwing it.
Just trade emails and hang out right now. All right, so hard pass. Next up is Carbonite Transport. By the way, love the art. The perspective on this is crazy. It is a 5/1 Cloud City reaction. After you refresh, move a captured card from an objective you control to another objective you control. This is bananas. I love this. For every reason we've already seen great capturing objectives, this makes them that much better.
The natural combination is, well, if you can get a Tatooine Crash out, capture the top of the deck every time, and you have this out,
spread it around,
and you also have Jabba's Reach out, then every turn you're capturing a card and moving it to Jabba's Reach, increasing your draw cap by 1.
That's fantastic.
Obviously, you have to have those particular 3 objectives, but those 3 objectives...
But what a perfect storm,
in and of themselves are also worth having. Like Jabba's Reach you're totally cool with. The Crash, you can get a captured card. If you happen to get all 3 of them out, watch out.
That's right.
Huge.
So, here's something we all know and love. Slave 1, a 5-cost, 3 bubbled, 1 unit damage, 2 blasty damage, but all black, 3 hit points, vehicle transport, and it reads, this unit gains 1 blasty damage for each objective with at least 1 captured card. That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
That's pretty cool. Just spread the wealth around. He's going to get so much blasty damage. It's crazy.
And I love that it's just all black. It's just he's precision, he's perfection.
He's not going to mess up.
Yeah, he doesn't require luck or anything.
Man.
This is absolute skill.
Yeah, if this were Django flying this ship, different story.
And he's got a 3 Force icon, 3 health. I mean, yes.
I'm telling you, against anything that's not Smugglers and Spies, when they have a lot of tactics or something, not having to care about the edge battle in certain cases where it's like, hey, I'm going to attack that objective. And it's like, I know you can't do 3 damage.
2 damage.
And I know you can't tax me down. It's like...
The simple fact that this could potentially, and maybe fairly easily, get up to 5 blasty damage is crazy.
I think you're going to at least see it at 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have a captured card in Smuggler's deck, or in a Scum deck. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Pretty great.
It's great, and I see that potentially having some synergy with some Imperial Navy stuff because it's a vehicle. You know, you can do some stuff with vehicles.
Well, I'm just picturing it's like you attack, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna block here." And you're like, "Ah, captured," and then it's like,
"What?"
And then you just even at 3 with unopposed, that's 4 damage. Like it's gonna.
It's a lot.
It's beautiful.
All right, next up is Traitorous Wing Guard. 1 cost, 1 bubble, 1 unit damage black, 1 hit point, character trooper. This unit gains 1 blasty damage while an objective has at least 1 captured card. Pretty sweet.
So he just gets 1 as long as there's 1 captured card. Yeah?
Exactly. Which makes his spread pretty reasonable
That's-
for 1 cost, 1 hit point. I like it a lot.
A 1/1/1.
Yeah.
1 cost, 1 icon, 1 health is it's all right.
Standard.
Yeah.
The fact that he gets a second icon
That
on the
will be
occasion.
black. Yeah.
It's
A lot,
pretty
a
good.
lot of black icons in this set, which
Yeah.
is fantastic. All right, next up, another prize possession. Pretty standard, really, but nice.
Nice.
Next is Tractor Beam. 2 cost, 3 bubbled. Event. Action. Move 1 focus token from a vehicle unit you control to a target vehicle unit with lower printed cost.
Cool.
Speaking
Cool.
of Imperial synergy.
Yeah.
I mean, even like you throw that as
Or
Imperial
that
synergy,
slave.
but to me, 3 Force icons.
Yes.
This is a huge edge battle card.
Mm-hmm.
Huge edge battle card. So even if you don't, your opponent, which is going to happen a lot, not going to have any vehicles you're playing against Jedi. It's like, well, not that big of a deal or something. Force battle or edge battle. That's where it's at.
And this is a classic shot here in terms of the art, but they really did a good job re-rendering it.
Yeah,
making
what's
it
cool
beautiful.
about this too, when you step back for a second and just kind of realize what's going on, the slave is also a vehicle.
Exactly.
Sure.
So if you have a
Unfocus
big
it.
Star Destroyer,
And
like,
there are-
you can go from Star Destroyer to slave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are plenty
You
of
can-
other
and you can
like,
attack with slave first, right? It doesn't have to be unfocused. It's I attack with slave, it gets focused. Then I'm going to play this. I'm going to attack with Star Destroyer. All right, now I'm going to move from Star Destroyer to slave, attack with Star Destroyer again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of damage in one turn.
Yeah.
just ping pong those.
I love this card that is
Things
it just
around.
has a lot of uses. That's cool.
Last but not least, target of opportunity. Rounding it
Another-
out.
Seems to fit
What
the
a
theme.
huge objective damage.
Yeah.
Man, I am
pod.
It is.
I
This
was-
will light some things up.
The Start of Opportunity always had those missiles.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
They
No.
changed it.
It has.
Good.
based
Cool.
on which
Yeah.
set it's in.
Cool. Cool. Okay.
This is
I
very
didn't think
slavey.
I'd seen that. Yeah.
Missile
This is
clusters.
great. This is a great objective set.
I really want to build an Imperial deck with slave in it. That didn't even cross my mind until you just said that.
I'm ready.
It's fantastic.
I'm doing it. You can't steal it.
I've been saying for like 4 or 5 days that Imperials are going to be the way, but
Mhm.
Well,
So, final
Con
thoughts.
rises.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
I can't overstate how awesome pure black icons on a card like that are. Like,
Mhm.
it's just so mean.
It makes it reliable.
Yeah.
Most importantly for me, it's like, oh, okay, edge battle or no, I can still participate in this game here, or this turn, this fight, which I really like because you brought up it earlier with the Imperials. It's like so many times you're just kind of like left there, just kind of like, I can't really do anything because I lose the edge battle and I'm just out of this. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have it.
With the popularity of the smugglers and the ships they have, that card where you're moving to focus, I've seen that slave attacks, actually wins the edge battle, strikes, pays 2, moves, strikes again. It's just like, ouch.
And
Ouch.
kind of what you were, again, I really like touching on the flavor, but bringing the Scum and Villainy in with the Imperials, it's exactly what would Vader do. It's exactly
Yeah.
what Vader would do.
That's what
and
he
what
did.
he did. It was-
OMG.
So let's see that happen.
All right.
man.
Well, let's move on to an Imperial objective set.
Yes.
This is one called Imperial Blockade, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a very important card in some Star Wars game at one point. Do you remember that? Imperial Blockade. Doesn't that sound familiar? Or blockade of some kind?
I think in the Star Wars TCG, there was an Imperial Blockade card that, like, stopped your opponent from getting built or something.
Yes, it was a
Build
big deal.
points.
I just remember it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So it brings back some good
I'll have to
memories.
Look at that up.
Limit 1 per objective deck, so you know that this is good. It's going to bring the juice here. While this objective is undamaged, increase the cost of the first unit each opponent plays on his turn by 1.
It's
Fantastic.
I had to
Crazy.
stop in my tracks.
Yeah,
there.
it's
I was
like,
wait a
wait,
second.
am I reading this right?
Dude, I cannot tell you how many games they have this out on their first.
What good
And you're
flavor,
just like,
too.
what?
And no, it's like, oh, they have that out, and I'm not. And then you're making, counting. I play resource, and then you're like, I'm gonna play Luke, and you put it, and you put 4 down. And they're like, actually, it costs 5, and then it's like, uh-oh.
What? There goes my whole planning.
And it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll put the 5th one down, and you have to double up on one of them, and then you're
Yeah.
out of resources or something, and it's like, whoops.
Yep.
It's so good.
This is a great way to symbolize the blockade.
How did they cuss in Star
Perfect.
Wars? That's what that card makes me do.
All right, Imperial Blockade starting out with Captain Nita. A good
Love
art here
this
too.
guy.
2 force icons. He has no battle icons of any kind. He's got 1 resource. He's a character and an officer. Reduce the cost of the first capital ship you play each turn by 2.
Nice. It's too good, really. Thank
So
God there's
good,
only
man.
one. Yeah.
I mean, literally, if you play him out and then play a capital ship with his resource, you've paid him off already. So then he's just sitting there getting you awesome capital ship resources.
Fantastic.
Yep. I think he's good.
Yep.
I think he's good. He's not as good as I want him to be, though. I'll say that.
It would be better if
How
there
many
were
hit points
capital
does he have
ships in
again?
this
Just
objective
one.
set.
Just one, yeah. That's his ultimate weakness, I would say.
But I mean, think about it. Like, how is a rebel going to get rid of that?
They're not going to rebel assault it.
I mean, they're not rebel assaulting it. If they have Han, they
Yeah.
could take him out. But
Han or Luke, you know, but they
should see
probably
a Han
don't want to waste it on him. They might. He's not going to be in
if
a
I had
battle.
Han, I would waste my reaction on that. 100%. The do 1 damage when you attack.
Sure.
No question. But what I've also seen with this guy is attack with a Star Destroyer that has shielding, put a shield on him, use his resource,
Nice. Mm-hmm.
and then don't even strike with him, but now he's got a shield on him as well. Or protect. I mean, you've got...
Yeah.
There are cards that you can put with him that keep him safe.
He comes with 2 Imperial 1 class Star Destroyers, 5 cost, 2 Force icons, has a black unit damage and objective damage, and has an edge enabled unit damage and objective damage. So a good spread there. It's a vehicle and a capital ship, 3 health. Just a little cruiser. And this guy makes a lot of sense for 3. So if need is out, it's incredible. For 5, still good.
Well, I mean...
And capital ship synergy is on the rise.
What you have to realize, too, with the Imperials is they're so resource heavy.
Yeah.
Like it is common for them to be 9-10 resources by turn 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, I've got 10 to spend. So even at 5, like their resources are cheaper than other resources. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Sith has a hard time getting resources.
Yep.
So I even at 5 for them, it's really like a 4-cost unit for other people in my brain.
This next card is great. Apology accepted.
Dude, the art on
art.
this is
Yeah.
insane.
The art.
It's good. 2 cost, 1 force bubble there. It's an event. Sacrifice an Imperial Navy officer to remove all focus tokens from a target Imperial Navy vehicle.
Fantastic. Way to get him motivated.
Yep. I mean, that's going to be useful. There's really nothing much to say.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
great.
If nothing else, you keep it in your hand and look at the art.
It's well costed, too.
And it also comes with the tractor beam.
Nice.
So what we're seeing actually is a way to deal with what was the downfall of Star Destroyers.
Mm-hmm.
Because you saw, like, whenever those objectives first started arriving, you saw them come out. And it was that, like, this big guy is just destroying things. And it's like, he's focused. Here, just put some focus on him. You got Jedi, put some focus on him. And then it's like, I can't use them for the rest of the game, and I spent 6 resources. All my resources to get this big thing out, and now it's just like locked down forever.
Yep.
So now we have ways of moving focus off those guys, taking all the focus off of them. That is a big deal.
But you're only
That's-
getting 1, even so.
Yeah.
It's like,
It can be-
thank you very much, but man, can we have another one?
Yeah, that can be it's going to be a game-winning, those are going to be game-winning plays there. Remove focus, attack. Boom.
Totes.
Done.
Totes.
It's a 5-2. Scum and Villainy affiliation only. Tatooine, which is important actually. Action, discard a captured card from this objective to remove 1 damage from this objective. Then draw a card.
Yeah.
This can be really good, just so we're aware.
Can be. Yeah, it's not blowing me away, though.
Oh, you wait.
wait for the cards.
You wait. All right,
Just
so let's see what's in it. 3-cost unique Bib Fortuna. 2 force icons. He has an edge-enabled tactics, 3 resources on him. Like he provides 3 resources, 3 health. If this unit has 4 or more focus on it, sacrifice it.
Wow.
Forced, I assume.
It's not a reaction.
It's just passive. Okay.
So if you put all 3 on it, and then they put another tactics on it, he's gone.
But that's fine. That's fine. Because we put 3 on him, he's out for the game.
It'd be worth it.
He's out for the game. These games do not last more than like 4 or 5 turns generally. You know, it's
That's
like
hilarious.
So, who cares?
Yeah.
Is this guy? Well, that kind of makes you wonder. I feel like this is the guy you put out and you use, and then take off and use and take off. I don't know that I'd stack him up until you need to. He's kind of your ace in the hole.
Yeah, I mean the fact that you can drop a captured when you need to, or you can. It's just 3 stored for whatever you need.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah,
powerful.
A little battery.
So
It's true.
next up, and speaking of harkening back to the TCG days, we have a 5-cost 1 force icon Crate Dragon
Aha!
with art that is just
Bananas.
fantastic. The
Yep.
Tuskens are running like they're being trying to be eaten by a dragon because they are. And he is a unit, no affiliation, 2 black unit damage, 2 black objective damage, 2 edge enabled unit damage, no enhancements, and he's 5 health.
It's quite a bit.
That's a big
It's a
dragon.
mouthful.
This guy packs the heat, man.
Yeah, he does.
It's like I'm gonna attack that objective.
What's his cost again?
5.
5.
It's like
Worth
5
it.
health. You're not killing him.
It's worth it.
And he's not like a character. So a lot of shenanigans won't work against him. He's not a vehicle,
He's a
so a
creature.
lot of shenanigans won't work against him.
He's just coming in for the. Even if he's saving a block, it's like,
This is money. This is a
I like
money
it.
card.
yeah, it's like I'm gonna attack with home 1. It's like, no.
You got a Crate Dragon on board.
No. Next up, we get another Gomorian Guard. 1 cost, 2 health, 1 black unit damage. I won't go over it again. Standard guy.
He's a guy.
We also get another Spice Visions. Interrupt when a focus token will be placed on a character or creature you control, damage it instead. Insert Crate Dragon here. Oh, he's going to focus to strike. I'm going to put a damage on it. Now he only has 4 health left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he gets to strike twice.
Yeah.
Woo!
It'd be worth it.
And to round it out, for 1 cost, 1 force icon, we have an enhancement, the Almighty Sarlacc.
Nice. Finally.
Enhance a Tatooine objective you control. Action, damage enhance objective to remove 1 focus token from it. So the natural synergy here is you damage it to be able to focus it again. You have a captured card on it that you get rid of to heal it, and you just have this cycle of resources that are potentially beautiful.
Yes.
It could be very beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I'm going to guess that doesn't happen very often. But I'm also going to say that that card is going to be good regardless. Like, getting an extra resource whenever you need it is just...
When you really need it.
It's
Dig
just
down
huge.
deep.
I mean, sometimes you're one short of a 5-coster
need
that's going
this.
to change the game for you, or an event that's going to really make things happen. Like, that's the thing. I mean, you put that on there, and you always have access to that event in case you need it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It's true.
To me, it's one of those objective sets that, like right now, I'm like, I probably wouldn't use it immediately. But I've got a feeling that at some point, whether we get more creatures or more Tatooine objectives that somehow heal themselves or whatever,
It's a lurker.
could be good. Like, it's right on the cusp of really, really useful. And I can see players using it in an interesting way, but at the same time, it's like this or Jabba.
Yeah.
Probably Jabba. But this is the kind of card that creeps up on you and gets you, for sure.
It'll let you think.
Yeah.
So next up we have the Ghosts of the Dark Side. It is a Sith objective, 5/1, Malachor 5. This objective contributes 1 Force icon to your side during the Force struggle, which is something we've been missing for
That's
Sith
awesome.
for a long time.
That's awesome.
a big deal.
There is...
There's another one.
There's another one, yeah.
Oh,
There's
I thought
another
that-
one.
Yeah, that's right.
This
I was thinking only the Jedi equivalent one.
I mean, when you get both of those, I've seen this. It's like even just having one out,
We're having one out's big. You don't have to commit the
It's a
first
pretty big
turn.
deal.
It's awesome.
The art is crazy,
or even
by the way.
if all you draw is like a 1 Force icon guy, and you do commit, you're at 2, and it's like, what do they have that's 3 they really want to commit?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking
Alright.
of commitment,
So, within the set, we have 2 copies of the Force Wraith, a 3-cost, 2-bubbled, a black blasty damage, a white unit damage, 2 hit point character spirit, and it reads, while this unit is committed to the Force, its Force icons count toward the Force struggle, even if it is exhausted. What?
It's awesome.
Unprecedented.
I love this guy,
It's
man.
great, and it's so creepy.
I hate this guy.
Ugh.
I mean, I hate to love him.
You love-hate him.
Love it.
I've
You
had
late-
my
you
opponent
late him.
drop it, they commit, and they're like, oh, I'll attack, and it's like, oh, man. Now
It's
you're
so cool.
Yeah, it's excellent.
So cool.
Oh, cool.
Art is
Love it.
great.
Love it.
Next up, probably one of the most dastardly cards I've seen out of this entire box. Dark Memories, 0 cost, 1 bubble, enhancement, condition, enhance an enemy character unit. Reaction, after enhanced unit has 1 or more focus tokens placed on it, deal it 1 damage.
So a couple curious things about this.
Yes.
One, if like, you know,
Talk about the edge
if
battle.
I'm committed and I place 2 on it at the same time for
Mhm.
striking, that only counts as 1 instance, so it's
Correct.
1 damage.
Yeah.
Didn't know that at first. The first time I was using Yoda,
Mhm.
I had to use open
Yeah,
spirits
you were like
crazy.
killing your stuff crazy.
The other thing is, it's at this point been ruled, if this damage kills your guy when he strikes, he doesn't get to strike.
Yeah, he's just gone
Wow.
immediately.
Wow.
And you get 2 of these, and they cost 0.
This is a huge objective set.
It is. It is super powerful for Sith.
It's just like, I mean, you play this on Han Solo, and it's like, I'm going to attack with Han. And you're like, all right, I'm going to force choke Han. Now he's got 1 left. It's like,
Gotcha.
That's
You get,
so good.
You get 2 of these in
yeah,
the set.
that is so good.
That is bananas. Sith is going to love this.
I love it.
All right, last but not least, Force Shockwave. 3 cost, 3 bubbles, great. Event with the action, deal 1 damage to each enemy unit not committed to the Force. What?
What
Watch
a
out,
great
Rebels.
card.
Watch out, Rebels.
I'm telling you, man,
What a great
Y-Wings are
card.
running.
Yeah.
They are running for the hills with this card.
They are terrified.
I don't, man.
The art is
I'm,
crazy.
I was
Look
going to
at
say,
that mask.
I would run this card if it was bad just for the art.
Yeah,
Sith is
stepping it up.
so good now.
Mm-hmm. This one
So
set.
good. Is that a 1 per objective, or can you run 2 of those?
You can run 2 of these.
Now, I do want to not hit on that. This is, to me, reminiscent of the Jabba objective set, where there's almost no reason not to run 1. Like, you get 2 of the objectives that they have to worry about damage and have to worry about not attacking or moving. The cool part is Sith has a lot of tactics.
Yep.
Right.
So when you put tactics on them, they take a damage. So they
Right.
don't attack with a Jawa, and they're like, oh, and they don't block.
It
Focus
turns
on
it into
damage.
like a focusing targeted strike.
Yeah, and then like if you draw that objective, okay, cool. I have it next. Like the things that come in don't. Everything in that objective set works to their advantage and does things they can't do right now.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of why I'm so wide-eyed about
Yeah,
it.
they get the unit damage and the objective damage, which they need from time
I mean,
to
it
time.
used to be you could outswarm them, you know, like you could just get on top of them, kind of. I
Not
mean,
anymore.
they had a decent matchup against like the build a Luke or build a Yoda. It's like, well, I've got Palpatine. I'm going to focus stuff down. I've got the
they have a
events
really good matchup against
got the events to deal with like big things. But when you had a ton of Y-wings and X-wings coming at them, they didn't have enough focus icons to go around. Now they got the Shockwave.
Mm-hmm. Forget
Come on.
about it.
That's crazy.
It's good news bears, especially with. I mean, if you're running 2 Emperor Palpatines, 2 Darth Vaders, that means you're running tons of Force chokes. I'm going to do 1, clear out your 1s. I'm going to Force choke a 2. I'm going to use Vader's reaction to get another 2. And it's like...
It's really
It's
good.
a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And if you have those enhancements on him and you have Han who's got 1 on him from attacking, it's like, now everything takes 1.
Yeah. You can clear that board
I don't...
now.
I would be willing to say that Sith is definitely the meta right now for Darkseid. I would, if you're going to Gen Con, because this is like a week before Gen Con, if you're going to Gen Con, you have to expect this.
This is another video.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say.
I'm
here.
just saying.
I have a lot.
That
I would
was bold.
agree to a degree.
Now, it can be built certain ways, but like you're going to see that deck
For
hard.
For
A lot.
sure. Hard.
All right, I got the last one, I believe.
I have.
You got one
You
more?
don't.
You
Uh-oh,
did. So-
denied.
So we're 1 away. I'm going to do Asteroid Pursuit here. This is a neutral. It is a force reaction on it. After you refresh, damage this objective. And
Highly
the reason
controversial.
why
Mm-hmm.
is because it has 3 resources and 6 health. So after you refresh, you damage it, but it gives you a fatty 3 stack on that. Whew.
Which is nice.
Let's see if it's worth it. Lictor class dungeon ship, 3 costs, 2 force icons.
Not the light
Has a
class.
single black objective damage vehicle and important capital ship, in case that has things going for it. It has 3 health, and the unit gains a black unit damage and a black objective damage while an objective has at least 1 captured card.
Cool.
This guy becomes an incredible value
Mm-hmm.
once you have a captured card. Love it. That'll go into my Imperial Scum deck, definitely.
Definitely.
Then we have 2 Trooper Sentries, 1 cost, 1 health, 1 edge-enabled unit damage, great art, and reaction after he enters play, place a shield on a target unit or objective.
Nice.
Just a chud. He's okay. 2 cost, Event is next, armed and ready. Each shielded unit you control
Aha!
gains a black unit and objective damage till end of the phase.
Nice.
So solid. Solid, armed and ready. And then we have protection for more shielding.
Sweet. It's
I have a lot to say here.
Yeah.
I think it fits decently into the Imperial Shield Walker vehicle thing that doesn't really click just yet. So it's not really clicking for me. I think the trouble is this objective comes out. Let's say you draw it as one of your 4 initial and you put it on the bottom because you don't want it yet. Then they destroy 1 and hopefully you only run 1, right? But if it comes up as the 1 after they've destroyed 1 and you're kind of stuck with it, it's a ticking time bomb.
But riddle me this, and I'm pretty sure this doesn't work, but I'm just going to throw it out there because I think there's people out there probably thinking the same thing. So if this objective is shielded, does it shield its damage away? Because this is an after you refresh, damage the objective.
Good question.
I don't know when shields go
the shields
away.
come off during, like, at the beginning of refresh.
I think they do as well.
So you couldn't.
Which is unfortunate because I felt like there was synergy here where the trooper sentries come out, they shield your objective so that then it's not a ticking time bomb
that would
anymore.
be good.
We may need to double check that because it feels like it should work like that, but I know that in the rules, I think shields come off immediately.
Yeah, I think shields will come off before you have that opportunity.
It's a bummer.
So, it's interesting to me. I mean, a 3-resource objective could be a major thing. I would say in an Imperial style deck, what's going to make this card work is the fact that Imperials really either win quickly or they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, either you got locked down and you can't do anything, or you won the game in like 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah.
So if you just want to rush out, play stuff down, and go for it, this could be your card.
It's weird too though because the Lictor class to be good really needs a captured card. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna need to run this with Scum or some way to capture things.
Well, I mean, Imperial has the it's the 2 cost after a unit strikes, pay 2, capture it card. They also have the it comes in the same objective set as the look at the top 3 capture one.
Right.
So Imperial does have ways of capture.
That's true. I don't know. Consistent use of that card is going to need consistent
Scum and Villainy is better
capturing.
At it, for sure.
I mean, let's say you start Scum and Villainy, right? And then you run the 2 with captured in it, and then 1 with the enhancement that captures.
Yeah.
And then you run the 2 Imperial objectives that capture and have the card in it that captures something. You have quite a few capture.
You got plenty of room. Yeah. So it could see it. I don't know. It's not lighting the world on fire.
If there was a card in there that I really, really, really wanted to run, I could make a reason to run that objective.
Yeah.
But there's not.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So, anyways, we'll round it out here with one I think you will potentially like. It's called Across the Jundland Wastes. It's a 4/1 Tatooine objective. Forced reaction after a character unit is focused to strike, place a focus token on that unit.
Wow.
For the dark side, that
pretty cool.
And that works both ways.
It works both ways. Yes, and it's a forced reaction. So the interesting thing
is this neutral?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you're running an Imperial deck, running a lot of ships, you're not running characters. Oh, you're going to strike with a character? Double focus.
This gives them a pretty decent little answer to the stackable Jedi that we've seen.
Sure. So let's see what we get in here. I mean, that's a super powerful objective ability for the dark side of me.
Yeah.
Like it's control on crack. So we'll keep going anyways. 3 cost Bantha, 2 force icons. It's got 2 unit damage, one's edge enabled, one's not. It's a creature. Reaction. After you play a scavenger unit from your hand, return the topmost enhancement from your discard pile to your hand. 3 costs.
Cool.
You could see some decks coming around this.
This could potentially be a really good way to get bounties back or whatever enhancements that you want to abuse, including the one that's going to come in this pack. We also get 3 Tusken Raiders. 1 force icon each, 2 cost, 2 health. 1 black unit damage, 1 edge-enabled tactics. They are characters, which is interesting with their own objective. They're also scavengers, which means they trigger the Bantha, but they have a reaction that's pretty cool. After this unit resolves a strike, return it to your hand.
Then the focus doesn't matter.
So you attack, you lay a tactics, they go back in your hand, you can use them in the edge battle.
Nice.
Or leave them
that's
in your hand.
That's a good card, and they're well costed too for what they're doing on the board.
And last but not least, we have an enhancement that is a 1 cost Gaffy Stick, 3 force icons. It's a weapon, enhances scavenger unit. Enhanced unit gains edge X. X is the number of other friendly units participating in this engagement.
Nice.
So you play
this is the start of the Tusken deck.
You play this guy on a Tusken. The Tusken attacks. The Tusken mounts to your hand. It goes to your discard pile. You have the Bantha out. When you play the Tusken, this card comes back to your hand. What's crazy is if you get this card keep coming back to your hand, it has 3 force icons.
Yeah.
Even if you never attach it, if I have a 3 force icon for the edge every turn, like I attack with a Tusken, goes back to my hand.
Pretty serious.
Edge this. Next turn, Tusken, put this back, edge. Like it's a vicious cycle.
It's nice.
It's cool. So I feel like both those neutral objective sets can add potential to certain decks and maybe be built around, but I don't necessarily feel like they're filling in any holes in like current decks. Like the Sith objective set that we just saw
was crazy.
essentially makes that a solid surface with no holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have I feel like this is the start of something that will become much more popular in the next 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, you introduce one more objective set that's kind of got scavengers and it's got Tuskens and like some cool interactions, and it could be really powerful. At this point, it could be good, but at the same time, this ability is crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
it's crazy.
It is.
You put this in just a pure Imperial ship deck, and it's like,
It's going nuts.
That's going to be one of the big choices that Imperials have to make right now is whether they're going this route or not, because that's a strong route.
Think about it, right?
To see
like,
it.
if I'm attacking with a Star Destroyer, are you going to block?
Yeah.
If you don't have an elite on the table, you're going to focus to strike and put 2 focus down.
Yeah.
Like, it makes blocking a nightmare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a nightmare.
Yeah. So
I think this is a super powerful objective, personally.
Okay.
It really is. The cards in it aren't that great, but
The objective.
is...
It's the reverse.
and I dig that. I just get nervous whenever
When I draw
like
bad
if I
cards.
don't draw that objective, like I haven't included that. Like that is doing nothing for my deck if I don't see that. It's like, hey, I got a Tusken Raider, but unless I really am kind of making this thing happen, that's the thing. That's why playing for the objectives is so scary to me, because they can easily just not be there.
Yeah.
It's true.
You got to... I mean, at the same time, though, right? Like, the Tuskens are not bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they're not bad characters in themselves. The 3/4 icon attachment's not bad. But it's also, like, if you had 1 or 2 cards in there that were like, hey, I could really see using that.
Yeah. Even if it had like a twist in it.
Or like a resource.
Yeah, or a resource.
But
that'd be nice.
It's definitely a risk, but at the same time, that is a super powerful objective set. If you're on 2, the odds of drawing 1 in setup, I think, is 75%.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 4 games, you're going to have it out.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
We can do it.
All right, well, there's the dark side. So overall thoughts, I think some serious objective sets.
Yes. It's crazy.
Serious objective sets. Like, the Sith one is mind-blowing. The
Yeah.
Imperial Navy one is really good. All the Scum and Villainy, aside from maybe that one that comes to mind, offer
The Shadow
great things to that affiliation.
I think what we have here is Scum and Villainy got everything they could have asked for. Just hands down. Which does a couple of things. 1, Scum and Villainy decks can now exist. 2, you can also start Scum and Villainy, run 2 or 3 objectives that give you the tools you want, maybe give you the captures or the bounties.
Captures and bounties are going to be the name of the game for me.
So you've got that, but then also you get a really cool Sith objective.
Dark memories, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole
Forget about
entire
it.
game has just been up to notch.
And
The dark side is coming to play.
And I feel like having those big characters and just swinging for the fences with them is way too risky right now. Like, it's way unless you're packing all the cancels you can pack. It's so risky to put it all on 1 or 2 big iconic characters. It's just going to be very hard.
Well, I mean, if you are putting it all on a couple iconic characters, then hopefully you're running a bunch of cancels.
Yes.
And we'll get to that when we get to Slugger's
You have
Spies.
to.
But
Yeah.
I think this was a fantastic addition to the game. Like, I've been playing a lot, and it's great. Like, it's exciting. There's a third piece to the dark side triangle at this point, if that makes sense, where it's like there's just, you can't prepare for everything. It's impossible. So you've kind of just got to do your best and get captured.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching. This was our Edge of Darkness review. Just the dark side. We will have the light side coming to you very soon. Hope you guys dug it. If you are looking to get Edge of Darkness, we do have that on our store for sale. You can find it at this link. And technically, you need 2 of them to have access to all the objective sets, kind of like the cores were. So, somewhat unfortunate, but hey, you know.
There's a lot of sets.
If you need to buy 2 Edge of Darknesses, we happen to know of a great place to do that. And it'll also keep us on the air, which is an added boon. So thanks a lot, and we will catch you on the light side of Edge of Darkness.